Hello, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of the music and albums that have influenced sort of my side of the Fabric Reality project. I know a lot of these cross over as well, which is really cool. Like me and Russ have a really similar taste in music. Very varied, as you know, everyone's different, but we have a lot of crossovers, which I think is a big part of the reason why I think Fabric has worked so well between me and him as like a writing partnership and production partnership is because both come from a very similar place musically, really heavily influenced by like 70s music, 80s and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess we've got Kate Bush, Hounds of Love. Um, Beautiful, beautiful Kate. This album was the first album I listened to by Kate Bush. I'd heard Babushka and Wuthering Heights before that. Remember, really big on guitar solos. Like my dad was always massive into it. Like as a kid, like they always showed me like these amazing guitar bands because he grew up with like the prog rock in the 70s. So that stuff always came through, and he spoke to me about this song called Wuthering Heights by this girl called Kate Bush. And he said, the solo at the end of that song was always one of his favourites. I think it might be his favourite. It's that or a different one that I'll talk about in a different video. But I remember he showed me it. I think it was when like YouTube or whatever had first started getting going. So he'd show me this song. I was like, wow, this girl's amazing. Like, she was like, to me, just like some sort of like mythical creature when I seen her. Like, she was beautiful, like angelic. I don't even know, like some sort of alien from a different planet. Like, definitely superior to us, man. Like, it's crazy. And then he told me about that he had this album called Hounds of Love. Um, I remember the first time I sort of really listened to it as like an adult where I could appreciate it properly. I was living in Leeds, and it was the first week I was living in Leeds when I've moved back there, and there was this. I got a really bad migraine. I suffer like from these crazy migraines, and like sometimes they're that bad that I just literally can't even lie down. It's just absolutely mental, and I got these like mental strong painkillers. A friend had an accident and sorted me out a few of these super powerful like painkillers. So I was like, I remember I got this migraine, and I was like, it's the first Friday night. I was living in Leeds on my own. So I'm thinking like, God, I can't have this. I can't have horrible migraine and not go out and just lie inside while everyone else is off out having fun. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna try one of these then. So I pops it. I was like, you started like, I don't know, like kicking in a bit later. So I was like, oh, I started feeling a bit better, like really relaxed. So I was like, right, I'm gonna put that Hands of Love on and listen to it. And it just took me to another planet, man. Like, it was just, I can't describe it. It's just absolutely beautiful. I think a lot of it, because it's very heavily like synth led, like it's so ahead of its time. Because I think if this album was released now, it'd be just an absolute smash hit. Like, it'd be the biggest album ever. Because it's got all those things from like modern music, all those cool like atmospheres, but it's still got like them heavy beats in it, and the vocals are just insane, and lyrically it's just absolutely beautiful. Like, it's, to me, it is a perfect album. And such a simple like artwork to it, but fantastic. It's got like the off white and like like your pinky purple colours just work so nicely, and then like contrasting it with the black and white on the back. Everything about it to me just like oozes like class and magic, and it's just amazing. A massive influence on Fabric stuff, and I think David Gilmour had something to do with this. Pretty sure he played guitar on Running Up That Hill. And I remember hearing like his guitar on it, and it sounds kind of like a synth, like this wow wow, like really mad sound. And it's like that was very inspirational to me, of how you can like use the guitar in different ways. You don't have to be sort of like conventional, like distortion pedal and strumming away. You know, not that that's nothing wrong with that. I do that as well. It's cool, but you know, there was something about that sound to me that was so much more sort of interstellar and really really widescreen. So yeah, I guess this is sort of, it's definitely what, you know, one of my favorite albums. It's definitely, you know, one of the main albums and pieces of music that influenced Fabric, like this sort of first era of what we're going to do with Fabric Reality. So I suppose if I gave you a few songs, if you never heard it, to get into it, definitely Running Up That Hill, massive single, that one. Cloud Busting is a fantastic sound, very ethereal, very just pretty. Like it's just, all of it is pretty, all of it is just beautiful, gorgeous sounding album. Then Hounds of Love, and I believe that might have, I think the Klaxons sampled that, because I remember when it came back on, and I was like listening to it in Leeds, when I sort of had that more profound moment with this album. I'm sure that oh 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 oh, I think it's that song, and I was like, oh my days, like that's how, you know, big and influential Kate Bush is. Like, it's, you know, there's these little echoes of her music within other things, like, you know, I just thought that's, you know, what a sample to use. It's amazing, and to like create it into your own thing, you know, very very inspirational. I just loved how that sort of tied into sort of like my past. I was sort of like a teenager listening to like the indie stuff. It's also from the past, and it's in the future, but in the other past. Crazy. So yeah, Hounds of Love, Kate Bush. I thoroughly recommend it. Cheers.